Yo, welcome to Starlight Man channel. Excuse my view. This ugly ass view. I know I'm trying to find. I'm just zooming in on this bit like Mars. So look, it's not gonna be a long video anyway though, but I don't want to talk about this though. Um why people chase sex or why people chase you could say ejaculation, orgasm, all that stuff, right? And the science of it. I'm gonna try to take close to the camera because I know I got the watch machine running and shit, right? But the reason why people chase sex, right? Understanding the energies, right? Because everything be energy, and the energetic backing towards it, right? So I'm a male. You know, there's male and women both are in the same box. Specifically for males, I could say, really for everybody, but definitely for I feel like males, but just for everybody, I guess. People chase sex because they be in situations where, and this goes for all forms of sex, not even just with a partner, even self pleasure and masturbation or whatever you want to call it. I ain't gonna go too deep into detail, but I'm just talking about the energy. That's why I ain't gonna be too explicit. But even when you talk about self pleasure or self loathing, or if it is with a partner, the reason why people have addictions to sex, or even if it's not an addiction, if it's a strong clinging to it or feel like they have to have it, it's not bad or wrong, but it's the energy to it, right? The reason why people get so addicted to sex, especially if it's like masturbation and self pleasure, is because they're trying to chase ejaculation or climax. But what is that? That's orgasm, right? That's orgasm. That's orgasm energy. And the reason why they're trying to chase orgasm energy is because really they're trying to chase a sense of intimacy. You see what I'm saying? Real talk. Because a lot of people, especially like if you don't got a girl or you don't got a partner, it's this for women too. If you don't got a partner, a girl, man, whatever, if you don't have a partner and you're by yourself, and yourself, you're touch deprived, like you don't have like a lot of intimacy in your life. You deal with touch deprivation. You don't have a lot of touch. You don't have a lot of, you're not releasing a certain amount of oxytocin, right? That's the touch the hormone, the bonding hormone. If you people like this who are touch deprived and who lack intimacy in their life are going to be the fastest people that are addicted to things like what you would consider corn, or you know what I mean. I'm not trying to say the p word, or addicted to self pleasure or masturbation or self loathing in some shape or form, because the only reason why you chasing that is because you trying to feel that orgasmic sense. You see what I'm saying? Like when I was like a lot of people, okay, like when you learn about the different people journey, you talk to people as a sexual holistic healer, right? A lot of people tell you their stories and shit, and a lot of people may say shit like, yeah, even when there's ways to go about sex in a tantric way where it's more fulfilling, you store more energy, and it's more deeper and spiritual, right? So some people was talking about techniques like even you can do masturbation and self pleasure without losing your seed, and you would do it in a way where it's not as frivolous, and you actually build energy and don't lose that energy out like you just quickly ejaculate and whatever like that. And you can still feel the orgasm and even draw out the orgasm and feel it more intensely than you was if you was just frivolously going around just releasing your seed all the time with yourself. And a person might tell you like even knowing that it still be harder for them to transition to doing it that way than doing it just the way that they've been used to doing it. And even that itself is just understanding that a lot of people will chase that actual what you would consider climax ejaculation, aka like the wastage of the fluid. A lot of people will chase that ejaculation muscle because what it is even if they know that they can experience that through tantric ways and other higher ways of doing it, a person will rather do it the way that they've been doing it, not because it feel better, because they'll even tell you like, man, they feel better to do the other one, but it's like an addiction. The reason why is because ejaculation and climax be the fastest way you can actually jump into that orgasm energy. A lot of times when you're doing it tantric ways, if you don't know what you're doing or you don't know how to really do it, like people, a lot of people call it edging, right? Some people feel like when they edge, it's a breaking point. Like they can only experience so much pleasure from it. You see what I'm saying? So if they feel like, I mean, if they could just pleasure themselves shit like that, and feel a whole bunch of orgasmic energy, and never feel like they have to reach that point of no return, and they could just continuously just feeling orgasmic energy even without the actual climax or busting off or whatever like that, they probably would do it. You're right, but a lot of people have problems because it's harder by edging just to really feel that orgasmic energy without tipping over the edge. Because it's almost like as soon as you feel that orgasmic energy, when you're doing tantra or when you're doing solo tantra or self tantric massage, it's like as soon as you feel that actual orgasmic energy, that's when you about to hit the point of no return. So it's almost like itching don't allow you to fully feel that orgasmic energy like an actual ejaculation does. Now there's ways around that. There's ways around it. There's techniques. But what I'm telling people is, it's better before you even go learn the techniques and shit like that and go on the journey of learning it. It's better to understand why you addicted to something, or why you keep craving it so much, or feel like you need it, or feel like there's something you clinging to. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, the only reason why people chase ejaculation, even if it's with females by themselves, whatever, the only people obsessively chase ejaculation and there's no moderation to it. Everybody got these spurts. You may do it a lot. This time, you may give it a break. You may give it a break. Then you may do this. If you got balance and moderation, it don't matter. But if you constantly, every day and all the time, you feel like you need to do, that's like you're trying to find. You're only trying to experience ejaculation and orgasm so much. I'm gonna say you're only trying to experience ejaculation so much because you're really trying to experience that orgasmic energy, which can be achieved without ejaculating. You see what I'm saying? But that's really what you're chasing, is the orgasmic energy. And the only reason why you're chasing the orgasmic energy is because you're trying to reach a sense of intimacy, or you see what I'm saying? Intimacy in your life. And that's why I say people that deal with touch deprivation and intimacy problems the most, people that lack intimacy a lot of times, are the fastest people, especially if they don't have a partner. But even if they do have one, are the fastest people to have sex addictions, beating off addictions, masturbation addictions, addictions as a whole, being to even a lot of weird stuff or doing weird activities and stuff. They be the first people, because that's a dangerous place to be in touch deprived. But they don't they may not fully understand the energies. So it's something that they crave, that they don't really know how to go about it. But the way that they naturally subconsciously end up going about it is in ways like having these type of addictions, or expressing them in what we consider negative pathways, which is really no right and wrong to things, but it's not about what you do, it's how you do it. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, there's more to this video. Will I create a part 2? I don't really know. I'm drawing right now, but at the end of the day, that's how that plays out. So you gotta understand these energies. You only have a sex addiction because you're really trying to chase orgasm, which is your highest expression. And when you're trying to experience orgasm, you're really trying to reach a sense of intimacy, which is still a part of your highest expression in your truest space. You see what I'm saying? And people that are touch deprived and lack intimacy the most are the easiest people to get lost into these type of sexual addictions, because through orgasm you actually achieve, you jump in that space, but it don't feel as satisfying sometimes. You think it's satisfying, but it really don't be as satisfying. That's why a lot of times people continue to keep craving it, because when something satisfies you, you good. You don't feel like you need it 1,000 times. You see what I'm saying? But clearly, it's a misunderstanding with the body's chemistry and internally what a person feel like they need or want, which is what leads them to keep going down that same rabbit hole. And that's with anything, drugs. Why people be on certain drugs hooked to them and everything. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, because that's deep too, dealing with drugs. And a lot of people do the same thing. Even if it's not through sex, it could be through drugs. You could lack a sense of intimacy, and depending on the type of drug, like Molly or whatever type of drug you taking, mushrooms, whatever it is that tap you deep into that space, you could get addicted to that, or feel like you need that as a crutch to experience, or feel like you need to experience or feel that which you lack your own self. You see what I'm saying? In your own life. You see what I'm saying? So that's how. And there's many ways to go about different things, and there's many reasons to things too. Some people have more internal energy, in the sense of, from an imagination standpoint, they naturally go within themselves and give themselves more inner light, aka they may jump back in their imagination and have more imaginations about sex or their desires. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever, it could be anything. Anything. You don't have to be good or bad, low, high, or anything. Just anything in general. Some people naturally feed themselves, because that's actually eating. Once you close your eyes, you in the subconscious. That's the all black. That's the subconscious. So once you start smacking imaginations, thoughts, and feelings while your eyes closed, that's actually you eating. Your soul is eating. Your spirit is eating at the moment, because you're emanating those thoughts and feelings, and they're absorbing into your space. And this is how you build energy. This is how you build blood flow. But this is also how you build aura. Like this why you think they get enlightenment from inner light. You see what I'm saying? So some people naturally imagine a little bit more subconsciously or consciously and don't even realize it. You see what I'm saying? And so therefore, if a person imagine about their desires more, they may not feel as steadhardy or let that weigh them down as much if they don't experience it, because it's kind of like they kind of naturally internally experience it a little bit more. Whereas a person that don't have no light, no internal light, no imagination, if they got some strong desires, it's gonna be harder for them to deal with it because they're not even feeding that type of inner light. That's a substance. That's an energy and a substance. So even if they're not physically experiencing it, that's still a light and a substance. You put your soul to experience through by imagination, and you feeding itself those lights. So you actually feel better by eating those lights of your desires internally. That's your own world. You don't have to worry as much. It's your own world. There is no right and wrong. But if you never feed yourself those lights, you got all these desires and shit like that. AKA, you really have no way to express it. That's also a way of self-expression too, internal. But when you don't imagine, you don't go within yourself or anything like that, you have no way of expressing these energies. So think about it. They're gonna have to be expressed some way, some shape or form, and that's my biggest thing that people gotta understand. You're not expressing these things internally within yourself in your own imagination world, astral projecting, astral traveling, just imagination itself, meditation, emotions and feelings. You're not feeling it. You're not jumping into that space. You're not actually expressing it because these are actually ways of self-expression you may not know. When you have an intent and you hone in and will on it, it's an intent internally. That you're emanating the light. That's an expression. It's an internal expression, but it's an expression. And since that's an expression, that person is still expressing that as a perform. But if a person is not going within themselves at all on these things, that's a deadly dangerous space to be in because you gonna have these desires, which all we all do, but you never express them in no shape or form. So they're gonna have to be expressed in some shape or form, and it's gonna be expressed in usually a negative light. You trying to do that to somebody else externally. You having addictions to these things. You having crushes and feeling like these are some things that you need that you have to go over and excessively about to get these things, and you're gonna get addictions and patterns doing these things because you feel like you need these things to sustain you, or let me say you feel like you need these things to make up the lack thereof of what how do I say it, to make up the lack thereof of what you desire anyway, which like I said you really want is intimacy. But since you're not practicing or expressing that internally or in any other way, because they don't even have to, if it's not eternally, it could be through your own self-creations, expressions, through drawing, art. Some people got music, you know what I'm saying? If you can't sing or rap or make beats yourself, it could be through art, actual paintings, arts, drawings, you know what I'm saying? But if you're not expressing in no shape or form, then it's gonna be expressed through some way. This is why self-expression is so important too, because like I said, what did I say before? Orgasm is your truest, highest expression. At least in this room of reality, is your truest, highest expression. You see what I'm saying? So this is why people have sex addictions. This is why some people got drug addictions too. It depends on the drug too. But this, for the most part, why people have drug addictions and why people have a lot of addictions in period, but especially sexual. Because when you have a sexual addiction, you are trying to get that nut off. You're a female, you're trying to bust that, whatever you're trying to get. Climax, ejaculation, whatever, male or female, you're only doing that because you're trying to reach orgasm, right? But the only reason you're trying to reach orgasm so much is because that's your truest expression, and that's that, and you lack intimacy. So you're trying to that orgasm because through that space of orgasm, you achieve a sense of intimacy, but it's short lived, so it don't satisfy you as much. So which is why you feel like you have to keep going to get in it because you don't truly fix the root cause of your issues, which is needing more intimacy in yourself or chasing your highest expression or expressing these things in a healthier manner. You know what I'm saying? And with that, like I was supposed to get out of here, but with that being said, I'm gonna hop up out of here, man. That's how that plays out, though. Y'all need to understand. And that's with everything: sex, drugs, most addictions, but definitely sex, drugs, and stuff like that. It's always got a starting point. It's always got a root cause. You gotta sit back sometimes, meditate on it, and really think and find your root causes. See what I'm saying? Go down that path, and you're gonna find it eventually. And with that being said, much love to y'all, man. Peace, great video, man. Appreciate y'all who was here and all, and whatnot. And see y'all next vid.